Chapter 25. For the Good of the Venison. A lot of people, particularly women, sincerely believe that they don't care for wild meat. Many such individuals are convinced that they especially dislike the flesh of any of the deer tribe. They complain that what they describe as venison's gamey taste is too strong. Not a few try to make the meat more edible to their way of thinking by horribly overcooking it. When people honestly and open-mindedly react this way to venison, you can bet the animal was not butchered properly at the right time, or that the meat was not cared for as it should have been afterwards. Sometimes a buck or bull secured at the height of the rutting season is not as good as it might be. A paunch-shot animal that has run a long distance before falling will not make the best venison. Otherwise, given proper and timely butchering and care, all venison should be tempting to even the most critical taste when suitably cooked upon reaching the kitchen. Venison, it is true, usually does not taste like our domestic meats. Young bear, when properly stewed or roasted, cannot be distinguished from the average individual from choice beef. Mountain sheep always does have somewhat the savoriness of lamb, while mountain goat resembles mutton. But the aristocrats of the deer family have a quality of their own. They are always delicious and never tough if reasonably prepared. Particularly, there is no strong or gamey taint to them. Is bleeding necessary? When you shoot a large animal, it is ordinarily useless to run in and cut its throat or stick it in the point of the chest with the motive of bleeding it. A modern bullet so disrupts the chest or abdominal cavities that they fill with blood almost immediately. Little or none of this blood will come out if the throat is cut. Besides, you are going to open the animal without delay anyways. At the very least, if for instance you have to follow a second wounded quarry, you will slit open the abdomen and chest and leave the animal, preferably across branches or otherwise in some well-ventilated position, so that it will both drain and cool as soon as possible. In an emergency, all this can be done within a couple of minutes. Under favorable conditions in cool, dry weather, when there are no flies, the meat will still be good days later. In any event, the blood should be drained out just as soon as possible. If you are going to use the skin, don't spill blood on it, as it is difficult to remove. When the animal has been cleaned out, take fistfuls of grass, moss, or leaves and wipe the chest and abdominal walls free of moisture. The blood itself acts as a good solvent in doing this. Get the inside walls as clean and dry as you can. Never use water. Butchering. When you come to your kill, don't try to hang the animal up unless this can be easily and quickly accomplished. Ordinarily, the job is apt to be difficult and unreasonably time-consuming. If this is the case, it will be sufficient to have the carcass with the head uphill and the rest of the body slanting downwards. If that is not possible, get the animal's chest upon a rock or a log. Turn the animal belly up, securing it in that position with rocks, logs, stakes, or whatever else may be handy. Then take a 3-inch cut at the lower end of the breastbone, just below the lowest ribs. As soon as the knife cuts through the skin, fat, and meat into the body cavity, insert the first 2 fingers of whichever is your master hand into the opening. Hold the intestines down and away so that the knife will not penetrate them. Then extend the incision down to the rectum, circumventing the active external milk glands, if any, and then returning to lift and cut away these easily disengaged tissues. Cut around each side of the major sexual organs and around the rectum, taking care not to puncture either. The contents can quickly taint the best meat unless any areas of accidental contact are immediately trimmed away. Carefully free the ducts leading to each and tie them off with a piece of string or lace so that nothing will escape from them. Then, with your sleeves rolled up and any wristwatch removed, remember that part, reach up into the upper end of the abdominal cavity and cut the diaphragm loose all around. This is the membrane that separates the organs of the chest from those in the abdomen. Now reach with your secondary hand into the top part of the chest, find and pull down on the windpipe, gullet, and large arteries. Cut them off as close to the neck as you can. This is one operation where, because of the close and obscure quarters, you have to take particular care not to slash yourself. Now the entire contents of the chest and abdomen are free except for occasional adhesions along the backbone. These can be quickly torn free by hand. You can now turn the animal on its side and dump out the viscera. As you work down towards the stern, take care to poke the 2 tied ends free so that they will fall out with the remainder. It is after this that you wipe the inside of the animal as dry as possible once you have dragged it away from the discards. Delicacies. Save the heart, cutting it free of the little paunch of membrane in which it is lodged. Be sure to lay the liver carefully beside it on some clean area, such as a piece of bark, a rock, or a patch of snow. Secure the 2 kidneys as well. All are delicious. You may also care to save the white sheets of abdominal fat, which will render into excellent lard for cooking. Unless you are going to have the head mounted, slit the underneath of the jaw deeply enough so that you can pull the tongue down through this opening and sever it near the base. Where we are hunting, we both carry a blood-proof bag in which to stow the heart, liver, kidneys, tongue, and fat for carrying back to camp. Cooling. Turn back to your animal. What you do next will depend to a large extent on circumstances such as weather, weight, and terrain. You may be able to hang it up by the head. You will at least be able to turn it so the body opening can be propped open with sticks in order that the meat will cool as soon as possible. Covering the carcass with a mass of well-leaved boughs will protect the flesh to a large extent from the shifting sun as well as from birds such as Canada jays, which may be already waiting for a chance to peck away at the fat. If blowflies are bad, you should either have enough cheesecloth to cover the cavity or one of these cheesecloth bags available from outfitters in which the entire animal can be placed. Blue bottles and other winged pests will still probably get at it to some extent. When those have been particularly thick, we found it effective to douse the underneath few of a mass of evergreen boughs with one of the effective and unobjectable personal fly dope such as 612 or pellant, making sure, of course, to keep this off the meat. You can examine all openings and exposed spots when you pack the animal out in any event and wipe away any eggs and young larvae. If the rain is threatening, a better procedure is to turn the animal so that it's draped back up over a rock or log. The body cavity must be freely ventilated in any exigency. Turning a freshly butchered deer on its belly in the snow, for example, will even overnight cause the meat to start to putrefy noticeably despite temperatures well below 0.